This is artist Dennis Pendleton, and I'm going to do a quick painting of an apple. And I have 4 different reds on my palette here. I have cadmium red, I have alizarin crimson, I have Indian red, and rose doré. And I also have brilliant orange. So I'm going to be using all of those and maybe some other colors as well. But I'm going to start with a cadmium red here. When you're painting something like an apple, anything like that, you should start on the inside and work your way out. Don't just outline it and then fill it in. So that's cadmium red. Now I'm going to put some alizarin crimson on this side because I want this side to be in shadow. So I want it a little bit cooler and a little bit darker. And I'm also going to slip a little bit of Indian red in there too. I'll keep moving around. If I want some yellow in here, now's the time to put it in and let it blend with the red like that. And getting some nice soft edges in there. And then I'll move to rose doré, which is a lighter red, which I'm going to use on the sunny side of the apple. Come around like this. Now, while that is still wet, I can do a lot of different things. The paint is piling up down at the bottom, which I like. I'm going to go a little bit darker here on this side again, because I want that to be in shadow. I can also take alizarin crimson and mix it with mineral violet to get a real beautiful rich dark. And I'm going to drop some of that in here like that, so it really looks like a shadow side of the apple. I'll go back in with some more red and let it blend like that. And while that is damp, I want to put in a cast shadow. Excuse me. I want to put in a cast shadow because I want the apple and the cast shadow to blend together. I don't want them to be separate. I want you to think of the cast shadow and the object you're painting as one object. And you can see here how the red from the apple is bleeding in to the blue for the cast shadow. Now I'm going to create a few little soft edges in the cast shadow like that, and a little bit over here to make it even more interesting. Now the apple is grounded, so it doesn't look like it's floating around in space. There's also, I've got some olive green now, and while this is damp, I'm going to put a little bit of olive green up here where there's an indentation in the apple, where the stem comes out, just like that, and let it bleed into the colors that are already there. And then typically I would wait to put the stem in because that should be dry when I do it, but since I'm working quickly here, I'm just going to take a little bit of burnt sienna and put a stem coming up out of here like that. And because I didn't use very much water, that's not blending around a lot. It's doing just what I want. So I'll grab my other little brush because there's one place on here where I want a little bit of a harder edge. So I will just go like that with some alizarin crimson. Let that blend in like that. Now I have a light side of the apple where the light is hitting it and a dark side where it goes into shadow. And a little bit of green here where it has an indentation for the stem. Now, when this is dry, I like to put a few little speckles on it, which you typically see on an apple. Now, this is wet, so these are going to spread around rather than stay as precise little dots. Those will lighten up a little bit, as they're doing right now, but those are things that I see on an apple. I've just decided I want to soften the edge down here on the cast shadow so that it has a hard edge over here and turns into a soft edge like that. So there's my version of an apple. I've used all the reds on my palette, plus yellow, burnt sienna, cerulean blue for the cast shadow. And there it is. So this is artist Dennis Pendleton saying, keep on painting.